What's up guys, I'm Tony Woodark. I'm a wedding photographer out of Southern California, and today we're going to talk about film cameras. Roll the intro. What's up? Oh, there's no intro? Okay. Are you going to make one? No, I don't know how to make one. First up, we're going to talk about the Canon AE-1. This is the first film camera that I ever got. My dad gave it to me. He bought it in the 70s, right when he got married. And yeah, I learned on this in high school in the darkroom and just fell in love with photography because of this camera. So super sentimental to me. But yeah, this is a great entry-level film camera. This can really get you going. It takes 35mm film. Just these little rolls of 35mm film usually come in 24 exposures or 36. So great way to learn on film. I'm gonna be doing a whole start to finish, loading the film all the way through in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, Canon AE-1, great camera, feels really good, made out of metal and just, yeah, sturdy. This is over 40 years old, 30 years old, I don't know, I can't do math, but it's old and it still works perfectly, never had any problems with it. I have the 85 1.2L lens on it, but it usually comes with the 50 1.8. This is like the original nifty 50, so great lens. You can usually find these setups for about 50 bucks, 100 bucks, depending where you're looking, maybe up to 200 bucks if you get it in perfect condition. But yeah, great camera. I'd say the only drawback is it only shoots 1/1000th shutter speed. I mean, it shoots others, but that's the fastest. And so if you're like me and you like to shoot wide open and you're out in bright sunlight, it might be a little bit overexposed. The good thing about film is you can overexpose it a few stops and you're fine. Or you can put a ND filter on your lens and just use 1/1000. So yeah, overall, this is like the best entry-level camera you can get. Alright guys, next up we have the Canon EOS 3. This one is kind of a range of different cameras. There's the 1N, the EOS 3, the 1V, all great cameras. The best part about them were these were made in the 90s and they have EF mounts. So right now I have the 50 1.2 EF that I use for my digital SLRs. I have that mounted on here with no adapter or anything. So that's what's amazing about this. It takes 35mm film. If you're like me and you shoot Canon digitals and you have a bunch of great Canon glass, I would highly recommend this camera. It is so awesome because you can use your super high quality glass on it. This one only cost me about 200 bucks on eBay, so you can get them fairly cheap. The 1N will run you about 100 bucks and the 1V will be up to about 600 bucks. The only differences are just kind of the build quality and weatherproofing. This has like mild weatherproofing, and then the 1V has heavy duty weatherproofing. The cool thing about this one is it's got a eye autofocus where it actually reads, you calibrate the viewfinder to your pupil, and depending on where your pupil's looking, that's where the viewfinder autofocus spot will be. I don't use it, I manually put the focus where I want it or manual focus, but it's a really cool feature if you're into that. Yeah, the only drawback I would say with this camera, it is incredible. The only thing that's a drawback, which is pretty funny, is because of how new it is, you don't really feel like you're shooting film. It auto winds to the next exposure. You have really great autofocus. the feel of it feels like your Canon digital SLR. So you don't really get that kind of novelty film feel with it. And pretty much anyone you're shooting will think you're just shooting digital. So that's the only drawback to it. Other than that, this is an incredible camera. And if you shoot Canon glass, you gotta get one. This is my last 35mm camera. It's a point and shoot. It's Contax T2. This is an incredible point and shoot camera, one of the best in the market. They got super popular lately, and so the prices have kind of skyrocketed. So these will run you about $600 to $1,000, which is kind of crazy for a point and shoot, but these are super well made, super durable, and the Zeiss lens on it is incredible. So yeah, if you're ever gonna get one, I would get one now because the prices are only going up. The nice thing is when you turn it off, the lens actually goes away. So you can kind of fit this in your pocket real nice. The other great thing is you can shoot it fully auto, or you can choose the aperture. And so it's kind of fun if you just wanna cruise around and take some fun point and shoot photos. What I really love about it too is I can hand this camera to a family member and they can get a photo of me with my wife and kids or whoever, and you know it's gonna be in focus and it's gonna be great looking, right exposure. So yeah, if you want to point and shoot, this is the one to get. There's cheaper versions. Olympus makes a great one, and Contax makes a couple other versions of this that are also great, but T2 is widely renowned as the best. So yeah, love this camera. And I don't know if I mentioned, but it takes 35mm film as well, and it auto reads the ISO of the film. So you load it and it kind of does all the rest, and then it gives you some information in the viewfinder as well. So pretty cool. All right, next up we have the Yashica-D. This is an awesome TLR twin lens reflex camera. So you pop this up and actually look down on it. So you're looking through the viewfinder there, and you're actually looking through the top lens, and then you're taking the photo through the bottom lens. It's super weird because it's in reverse. There's also a little magnifying glass that pops out, and so you can see if you're in focus or not. It is a super fun camera, probably the most novelty camera I have, but it works really well too. It's got a 3.5 lens, fixed lens, 80mm, which with medium format, which is what this camera is, 120mm film you load into it. That's equivalent to a 50mm lens on your DSLR or your other film camera. So it's a great focal length. This is so fun to use because when you look down and you focus that way, it takes a little bit of ease off your subject when you're shooting portraits, because you're kind of shooting from your hip. And so it just makes your subject a little bit more at ease, and it's really fun. You'll get some really unique perspectives and some great portraits with it. And at 3.5 on medium format, you can get that nice bokeh and depth of field to it. So yeah, it's a camera made out of the 60s. It's pretty well built, really solid. It's gonna set you back about 300 bucks or so. I got this one as a present, so I don't know the exact cost, but it's a great one. They do make 2.8s. Rolleiflex makes a 2.8 as well. I would recommend looking for that one just to get a little bit more wide open for your portraits. But yeah, let me show you some 120mm film. This is 120mm film, much bigger than 35mm, like 2 or 3 times bigger. So you're gonna get a much bigger negative, which means a larger scan, more depth of field in your photos, and just, yeah, a more high quality, beautiful looking image. So you'll get less shots. I think this one takes about 12 exposures per roll. So it's gonna cost you a little bit more to shoot medium format. But I think once you kind of fall in love with 35mm, the next step would be to get some 120mm medium format film and really try that. Contax 645. This is an incredible camera. Most people say that this is one of the best medium format cameras out there. I'd have to agree. The body is a little finicky and you can have issues with it if things aren't lined up perfectly. I also put gaff tape over a lot of the little levers that I don't move that much because they can easily bump and change really easily. But yeah, this camera is amazing. It's heavy, it's kind of crazy holding, but it feels good. Yeah, the viewfinder is great. You can shoot up to 1/4000th of a second, all the way up to 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 8 seconds, 8-second shutter speeds. But really the best part of this camera is the Zeiss 80mm 2.0 lens. 2.0 on a medium format with this Zeiss lens gives you the nicest bokeh. You can shoot incredible portraits. If you're shooting details like I do for weddings and florals, it is incredible. So although this camera is great, really the lens is what we're talking about. It is uncomparable. Pretty much any high-end wedding film photographers that you follow are probably shooting with this camera. And you can quickly start to tell portraits that are shot with this lens because it is so unique and so beautiful. Yeah, like I mentioned, this is a professional grade camera. This is gonna cost you about $3,000 to up to $6,000 depending on the accessories that it comes with and the quality that you're getting. But I paid about $5,000 with a few different inserts and the lens included, and this thing was well taken care of. So yeah, I would highly recommend working your way up to this camera. Don't come out of the gate shooting film with this camera. It is a beast, and missing focus will cost you because you're gonna only get, I think I get 16 frames per roll on this one. So yeah, this is a great camera. This is kind of my pride and joy and something that I've worked up to. I shot film for 15 plus years before I ever got this. All right, my last camera, the SX-70. Pretty fun. I love what I just did right there. You can take that and throw it in your bag, and you kind of always have a Polaroid camera with you. Usually Polaroids are pretty bulky, so super fun to be able to fold that down flat. Another cool feature about this is you can autofocus. So you roll right here and choose the focus, and you can also overexpose and underexpose with a little adjustment right there as well. It shoots big Polaroids like that, which is pretty fun, but they're expensive. One pack of these of 8 exposures is gonna cost you about 20 bucks. So that makes it about $3 a photo. So it gets pretty pricey, but it's super fun camera to use. The film is ISO 160, and so you need kind of bright sunlight to shoot, or you need to adjust the exposure pretty well. So yeah, unless you have the flash, which mine didn't come with, but you can get the flash on there as well. These are gonna run you about $100 on eBay if you wanna take a gamble and believe that they work, or you can get a refurbished one for about $300 or $400. If you wanna get one that is tip-top shape and refurbished, I would recommend Brooklyn Film Camera. But yeah, love this camera. So one thing I forgot to mention with a lot of the cameras are some of them have built-in light meters and some don't. I would highly recommend getting a light meter when you buy your film camera. You can watch tutorials on how to light meter. My next video I'll show you briefly how I meter, but I have the Sekonic, I think that's how you say it, L358. This is a great light meter, kind of all the film photographers that I follow have this one, so I got it. You can do bulb out, which allows to see more highlights, the light meter with highlights, or you can go bulb in if you're kind of metering for shadows. So that's a nice feature. This also swivels and it's pretty lightweight, and so I just kind of connect this to my HOLDFAST moneymaker or throw it in my pocket, and you have a light meter with you that's going to give you the exact settings that you want. The ones that have built-in light meters are kind of taking average of the entire frame that you're showing, and so if the subject's backlit or you're trying to expose for something else in the frame, it's not going to take that into account. So that's where a light meter comes in. That's where it can be pretty important. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions about film cameras, please leave them in the comments below. I'm going to be inserting a roll, shooting it, and then walking you through the process of getting it developed and getting my scans back and how I edit those in the next film. So if you have any cameras that you want me to shoot and roll on, or you want to see examples of, yeah, please leave them in the comments below. All right, let's take a question from the audience. This one comes from our only subscriber, Tani Wadrak. All right, okay. She said, I don't know if that's a guy or a girl. Anyways, they asked, what camera, if you could only have one camera, would you keep if you could only have that one for the rest of your life? Okay, well, if I only had one camera, I wouldn't shoot weddings anymore, so I'd just be shooting travel for fun. And I think out of all the cameras I just showed you, if I was to choose one, it'd be the Canon EOS 3. I think you probably thought I was gonna take the Contax 645, which is probably the best looking, most professional, amazing looking camera out of the bunch, but it's kind of heavy and bulky and finicky. And yeah, if I wanna throw something in my bag, that's not the camera I wanna throw in. Yeah, I would go with the EOS 3 because I have a lot of great Canon glass that would give me a bunch of versatility and make it super fun. So, and I love the look of 35mm film. It's super grainy, just really cool looking, just has a unique look. Yeah, I mean, obviously Contax 645 is a better camera, but if I was gonna choose one for the rest of my life, I think I would choose a Canon EOS 3. All right guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, do whatever you're supposed to do. I would love to continue making videos, but I really need your support because I'm not gonna do this without you guys being entertained or learning something. So yeah, please leave a comment below and let me know you enjoyed this, or tell me I suck. It's okay, I can take it. Yeah, love your feedback and can't wait to show you guys me shooting a roll in the next video. Thanks guys, bye. I say something. Southern California.